Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. May I have your attention, please? We are going to start with Ielts reading, and today we are going to go through one academic reading test. We've got a variety of questions in this test, and I have selected this test from Cambridge Official Guide to Ielts, and this is test number 2 from there. Cambridge Official Guide to Ielts, test number 2. Okay, now we start with the very first question type. Whenever you start your reading test, first of all, you have to read the title of the passage. If there is any subtitle, read that as well. Now, can you see the flavor of pleasure? It means they are going to talk about either flavor or they will talk about pleasure. Flavor of pleasure means there will be, for example, if they say vanilla is the flavor of pleasure, or any other flavor like that, okay? So flavor of pleasure. And then the subtitle says, when it comes to celebrating the flavor of food, our mouth gets all the credit, but in truth, it is the nose that knows. So whenever we talk about food items, it's not the mouth, it's the nose actually that knows. They've written, it is the nose that knows, right? That's why some people before eating, they smell. Chicken tikka, sahi lag raha hai. Then they start eating that, okay? So, and some people, even if there is smell, they say, doesn't matter, जायका तो सही है ना. इस बात का यासीन भाई से कोई ताल्लुक नहीं है. ये कबाब अच्छे थे वो ना, but थोड़े smelly थे. But then he argued, जायका तो सही है ना, smell है तो क्या हुआ? Anyways, flavor of pleasure. So जब भी कुछ खाएं, सूंघ के खाएं, देख के खाएं, and then the other thing. Now we come to the questions. Questions are 1 to 5. Complete the sentences below. Again, I tell you, whenever you guys practice, section 1 should be done in 10 to 12 minutes. Because in section 1, mostly you get the questions where questions and answers are in order. So once you find one answer, you can easily do that. And the first 5 questions, usually they are in the very first part of the passage. Now again, focus how to read the questions. How to read the questions and how to reach the passage where there is the answer. If you reach the right part of the passage where there is the answer, you will find the answer. And if you are in the wrong part, then you cannot manage your time, okay? No more than 2 words from the text, okay? Question number 1. According to scientists, underline scientists, the term, now remember, whenever they use the word term, terms are usually given in inverted commas, right? Or for term, they use the word known as. It is called, it is known as, people call it. So according to scientists, the term dash characterizes the most critical factor in appreciating flavor. According to scientists and term. Now let's go back. Look for the word scientists. First paragraph, last line, and then look for inverted commas. Found the answer? How simple, huh? See that? It is very simple. And for term, they use the word call. I told you, for term, they say known as, called as. People commonly call it, scientists name it as, something like that. So answer is retronasal smell. Retronasal smell. And please make sure when you are doing Ielts reading, there should not be any spelling mistake. There is no chance for spelling mistake because you have to copy and paste it. But sometimes, mashallah, you are Maharajas and Maharanis, so you can't write exactly the same word. If there is slightly difference or you miss the last letter, you will not get that, okay? So be careful. Retronasal smell is the answer to question number 1. Question number 2, savory. Now the savory is underlined. It is inverted comma, so we can find it easily. Is a better known word for, look here, there is another word for savory. A similar word of savory they have given in the passage. So please go back. Savory is a better known word for. Have you found the word savory? Okay, let's see. It's the second paragraph. Now, I'm going to read second paragraph. Please follow me. Certainly, our mouths and tongues have taste buds, which are receptors for the 5 basic flavors: sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami. or what is more commonly referred to as savory? What is referred to as savory? Umami. Try to understand that. Umami, they've mentioned and umami, or what is commonly referred to as savory. So umami is commonly referred as savory. So the answer is umami. See, they mentioned comma and then they said and. It means that's the next part of it. It's not with them. Comma and umami, or what is more commonly referred to as. Now, what means umami? What means umami? It's a relative pronoun. Umami is more commonly referred to as savory. Clear? Okay. Question number 3. The tongue was originally developed. Now they are talking about development of a tongue. So let's see. The tongue was originally developed to recognize the unpleasant taste of dash. Now originally means the purpose of making the tongue was to recognize the unpleasant taste of something. Unpleasant taste of what? Let's go back. Same paragraph. But our tongues are inaccurate instruments as far as flavor is concerned. Found it? Next they say, they means what? Tongues, exactly, very good. They evolved to recognize only a few basic tastes in order to quickly identify toxins. In order to identify toxins. Now let's go back. The question is, the tongue was originally developed to recognize the unpleasant taste of toxins. And then they have mentioned which in nature are often quite bitter or acidly sour. For unpleasant, they have used the word bitter or acidly sour. Clear? So the answer is toxins. Yeah. Let's go on. Question number 4. Human nasal cavities. Now, like we've got tooth cavities, nasal cavities. Human nasal cavities recognize. Now, look, the clue word is nasal cavities, right? Nasal cavities recognize. For recognize, they might say identify. Nasal cavities recognize dash much better than external ones. Much better means comparison. Let's go back. Nasal cavities. Third paragraph. Okay, let's just read this, the third paragraph, okay? All the complexity, nuance and pleasure of flavor come from the sense of smell operating in the back of the nose. Now they use the word back of the nose. It is there that a kind of alchemy occurs when the breathe up and out the passing whiffs of our chewed food. Unlike a hound's skull with its extra long nose, which evolved specifically to detect external smells, our noses have evolved to detect internal scents. So our noses have evolved to detect internal scents. Scent means smell. So let's go back. Human nasal cavities. For nasal cavities, they use the word internal nose. Recognize what? Recognize what? They use the word detect. For recognize, the word is detect. And then they said external smells. So the answer is smells. Much better than, no, listen. They said much better than external ones. Okay, human nasal cavities recognize. Alright, it's the opposite actually. Okay, now listen. Unlike a hound's skull, hound is what? It's a dog. Hound, it's a breed of a dog. So unlike a hound's skull with its extra long nose, which evolved specifically to detect external smell. Now, dog's nose detects external smells. Our noses have evolved to detect internal scents. So our noses have evolved internal scents. Now, what do they say? Come back to the question. Human nasal cavities recognize internal smell much better than external smell. So the answer is internal sense. Very good. Sense or smell? Read it again and please mark it. That answer of question number 1 is here, answer of question number 2 is there. When you go back home, you can practice it. Question number 5, golden shepherd. Now clue word is golden shepherd. Golden shepherd use the word neurogastronomy to draw together a number of means answer will be plural. A number of, and for number of they can use the number, they can use the word various, many, different and all that. Draw together a number of dash related to the enjoyment of eating. Now let's go back. Can you see golden shepherd? Yes. The very next paragraph? Okay, I'm reading from there. Yale University's golden shepherd began to shed light on its workings. Shepherd has come up with the term neurogastronomy to link the disciplines of food science. Link the disciplines of food science, neurology, psychology and anthropology. Now what are they? They are the disciplines of food science. So what are the disciplines? Disciplines are like science, neurology, psychology and anthropology. Now see which word is plural? Disciplines, exactly. And for number of, they've mentioned this science, neurology, psychology and anthropology. For number of they use this, and all these are actually disciplines. Okay, so the answer is going to be number of disciplines. You cannot write neurology and all that because there are 4 or 5 words. All these are disciplines. Sorry? Listen. You're not going to write anything else. You will just write disciplines because number of is already written in the question. So your answer is disciplines. For example, if I say, I study biochemistry, physics, maths. On the other hand, it's mentioned number of subjects, right? So if I say, I study some subjects and these subjects are biochemistry, physics and math. And there they have mentioned, in the question they mentioned a number of dash. So a number of subjects, because otherwise I cannot write a number of biochemistry, physics. That's not correct grammatically. So the answer is going to be here disciplines, okay? All right.